Next, let's hear from Brie Kerschen. Brie is a registered nurse with more than 15 years of expertise in hospice and palliative medicine, nonprofit, leadership, and emotional intelligence. Brie personally experienced trauma and grief through the prolonged hospitalization and subsequent death of her teenage daughter in 2019. Next came the pandemic. These experiences prompted her to delve deeper into the concept of maintaining dignity amid challenging circumstances and discovering unforeseen sources of happiness. Brie offers valuable insights and actionable takeaways to assist in navigating life's most difficult moments. Hi, Brie. Get on up here.
Ready?
Thank
you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. It's just one of those unspoken assumptions I held. Like a firefighter's house doesn't burn down, a plumber's pipes don't leak, and a hospice nurse's daughter doesn't die. But the only rule about death is that we all face it. And I know a little something about dying well, but nothing could prepare me for October 2017. From healthy to breathless overnight, we boarded an emergency flight to Children's Mercy Hospital in Kansas City. Zay's heart was racing. She felt like she couldn't breathe, and we didn't leave the walls of that sacred PICU for 457 days. Months later, her wonderful pediatric intensivist, Dr. Jenna Miller, would publish on a novel pathology, and we discovered that Zay's acute respiratory failure was a reaction to a common antibiotic, Bactrim. But during that first week at the PICU, when Dr. Paul Bauer woke me at 5 a.m., nobody knew why she was dying. He sat with me in the cove of a quiet hallway and explained to me the most terrifying, sci-fi sounding machine I had ever heard of, ECMO, the highest form of life support. It's a short-term solution with serious, sometimes fatal risks. So I spoke with Zay. She nodded her head and mouthed the words, "I don't want to die." And later that day, she returned from the OR sedated, restrained to the bed, and with a garden-sized hose cannula in her right jugular. The next week, I was standing in the hallway, mouth full of canker sores, ankles swollen, talking to the brilliant Dr. Marita Thompson. And she was trying to explain to me that she was getting ready to stop all of Zay's pain medications and wean her from sedation. I said, absolutely not. We don't know why she can't breathe. We have no interventions to offer. Why make her suffer while we try to figure it out? But she had a different vision. She explained that Zay could be on ECMO for months, and quality of life was going to be just as important as the machine she was attached to. She pictured Zay sitting up in bed on her laptop, eating, and the next week she was. Zay became the first at Children's Mercy Hospital to eat while on ECMO life support, to sit up on the side of the bed, to visit the first floor Lisa Barth Chapel on ECMO, to stand, and even to apply fake eyelashes. But ECMO comes with a host of horrible challenges. Blood that has to be so thin that it became her tears, cutting clots out of the tubing at 2 a.m., cutting her off life support to save her life. Nothing and everything made sense. Even little John of the PICU infection control broke the rules and let Zay get the first set of fake nails in the PICU on ECMO. But when the girl of first demanded to walk, her team replied with a resounding block, "No way." They said it's too great a risk, but the next morning, Nurse Debbie showed up with a checklist, and Zay became the first to walk on ECMO life support, the first to attend prom. Her ECMO nurses dressed in formals and pulled that giant machine behind her, piloting it and running it all the way. And then finally, after 189 days attached to that machine, her lungs were strong enough to be removed to a trach vent. It was our biggest leap towards home. But the following day, she suffered a stroke. And the girl who had walked on ECMO could not talk or move the left side of her body. So we began again, adjusted our goals. She weaned from the servo vent to the home vent, tried on the high heels I couldn't wear. And on January 31st, 2019, we were discharged from the PICU to home. And there's a video of her walking out, but I don't think it's progressing. Unfortunately, 12 days later, her heart stopped beating. She was at home, in bed, still the driver of her journey. We were on the phone with Children's Mercy Hospital that morning, and she made the choice to stay home with hospice. So what I leave you with today is my touchstone: benefit versus burden. It's something that we can weigh in all decisions. But also the lesson that I learned through Zay was that listening to those that we aim to help not only improves their lives, but our lives as well. And this is how we can build